South Africa Tonight, if you've just joined us, very good evening to you. Well, let's continue now with our coverage of the refugee crisis in Cape Town. More scenes of violence today as police clash with refugees. They are being forcibly removed but have nowhere to go. Well, let's chat more about this now with the director of non-profit organisation United Family, Patrick Matenga. He joins us from our Cape Town studios. Patrick, good evening and thanks so much for your time. Firstly, can you give us some idea of just what your involvement or what kind of interaction you've had with this group of refugees, or what kind of support has your organisation actually given them in all of this time?
Yeah, let me first start by greeting you. Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers. And thank you very much for inviting us to be here. United Family is working with refugees and there is an organization mainly led by the refugees themselves. So our involvement for this issue, it was been since day one, and we've been helping refugees with valid information, with very good information. What we believe, people were lied to go there, so people didn't have proper information. So we are very surprised that it took very long for them to stay there by wrong information.
All right, so just clarify for us, Patrick. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. What do you mean that they were lied to? They were lied to by whom? To go where?
Yeah, the way they are refugees, they call themselves refugee leaders for those protesters. For day one, actually, refugees were there in idea that they are going to be resettled to Canada and USA. So the information that was given to them, it was, let's go sleep at UNHCR, they're going to come buses and they're going to come aeroplane to evacuate them, to take them to Canada or to USA. That was the message. And refugees, they are so desperate when they hear a word of resettlement. So that was the strategic word they did use to call the people or to lie the people to go.
Okay, well, there seems to be many layers
there, yeah,
to the story, Patrick, and where we are now. I mean, they're in a situation where those leaders you were talking about are nowhere to be seen. They're facing their own charges, conditions that they can't come and join a gathering like this. But I just have to wonder, what would be the motivation for that, and why lead 200 people to a situation like this? What would they gain from this?
Yeah, we do really don't know what was behind of them, but it seems it was something that those leaders were looking to gain, and it was impossible for them to get alone, so they had to use other people for their own interest, to lie to the people to sleep outside there.
Okay, so they are in the situation they are in now. Just a few minutes ago, speaking to my colleague Aisha Ismail there in Cape Town, saying they're all outside the police station, children, women and men as well, waiting to be processed, saying they'd rather be arrested so they'd have a roof over their heads than sleep in a park or be continuously chased from wherever they are. What can be done for them at this stage?
Yeah, thank you very much for this. What can we do? What can we say first? We welcome the city of Cape Town to implement bylaws. So the city of Cape Town was just implementing their bylaws, and we are happy that the refugees themselves, they were corporate, so there were no violence. So we are happy that the process went very well. However, there were some refugees that claim that they still don't have a place to go. They did go to one church, it's called Mary Cathedral Church. They wanted to be there, but as we understand, there were a trespassing case against those refugees, and those refugees were arrested. I believe Human Rights Commission, they are following the case. Yeah, so after that, some they were camping, saying they don't have a place to go. And some they still say that they don't have a place to go. But what we do believe everyone there has a place to go.
Where is that place, Patrick?
Because the situation here,
from what I understand, there doesn't seem to be a contingency plan. The idea was to remove them from the area that the court had said they were illegally occupying. There doesn't seem to be a plan as to where to move them, but you say you know of a group that has cooperated and has been moved. Where have they been moved to?
Yeah, so the court order said to remove those refugees were on the pavement outside of the church. Some still inside the church. So those people, they were removed to go where they belong, where they come from, to the community. Remember, here there were nothing as xenophobia, as a problem that or a disaster pushed them to move their way. So they will be called, and then they were their choice. They decided to go to camp there. So they do have a place to go. Let me take this opportunity to call all the community leaders to welcome all those refugees, that they will come back to the community and to embrace them, because this is our people. This is the people that we've been aiming long time to come back home, and we will be happy again to welcome. So all the leaders, please welcome any refugees that is coming back to the community.
So the resettlement plan was to send them into those communities where they felt unwelcome in the first place.
So sorry, what was the question?
I was saying the resettlement plan, or the contingency plan, was to send them back to those communities that they had been fleeing here in South Africa, where they say they were facing xenophobic attacks.
Yeah, the plan was for them to go outside of the country. So when we use resettlement word, resettlement is where a refugee is taken outside of the second country because of the situation that is claiming for, that is continuing and is not finished. And that the only one organization has mandate to do that is UNHCR. And since the beginning, UNHCR was very, very clear to them and telling them everything, how the process works, how everything works. So, but whenever this message was going to those who called themselves refugee leaders, they were twisted the message and give the wrong information to the people so that people can still remain there. While people were remaining there, it was giving them power to continue to be there.
Patrick, if I can ask you very, very quickly, and if you can answer this very quickly, is your organization in a position to help these men, women and children who are now being processed at the police station?
Yes, exactly. What we do, we don't have special thing to offer them, but we do work with other organizations in partnership. So whoever that feel that need assistance, there is a partners that we're gonna send them there, but they must be aware that they must go screened, they must be screened, and there must be proper channel. If they find really in need of assistance, our partners, they are willing to help them.
Thanks very much. The UNIFAM's Patrick Matenga, and it seems mixed messages and people being used for other purposes. Those are the claims coming out here.